Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2022 WtERT Energy Research and Technology Asia meeting. The conference is jointly presented by Global WtERT Energy Research and Technology Council and Columbia Global Centers Beijing. GWC is one of the foremost research organizations on WtERT energy technologies, and Columbia Beijing Center is one of the 9 regional hubs of Columbia University, aiming to facilitate and promote meaningful academic exchange and research collaboration of our faculty, students, and alumni with their local counterparts in China and the East Asia region. So this conference today, in the following 2 days, will zoom in on technologies of WtERT energy and the best practices in different countries and regions, covering 4 related and progressive topics, including benefit of WtE technologies, WtE practice in China and its application in other regions, possible ways to build collaborations, as well as international advocacy for WtE in the global public agenda. So I'm Helena Shao from Columbia Beijing Center. It is my great pleasure to briefly introduce the distinguished speaker and panelist in this webinar. So first is Dr. Masaki Takoka, professor in Department of Environmental Engineering, Graduate School of Engineering, Kyoto University. Welcome. And Dr. Xiaodong Li, professor of Energy Engineering at Zhejiang University. Thank you. And Dr. Yongqi Su, former president of Korean Society of Waste Management, professor emeritus at Yuanshi University. Welcome. And Ms. Jenny Jianrong Yu, managing director at Swiss Engineers AG. Welcome. And last but definitely not least is Dr. Rita Kabaja, international senior business consultant and entrepreneur, and also vice president of international relations, Global WtER Council. So in this first session, our panelists will examine the economic, environmental, and other benefits of using the WtE over landfilling, the value of knowledge sharing through the global network formed by GWC, and how to facilitate it in Africa and Asia and beyond. So, but before we get started, one last thing, since we have audience watching on different platforms, so please be reminded that if you have any question or comments during the discussion, type them timely in your chat and question box, so we will be able to pass them on the Zoom during the discussion. So now, without further ado, I will give the floor to Ms. Jenny Yu, Managing Director at SWE, to give a keynote talk. So the floor is yours, Ms. Yu.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Greetings from Switzerland. Thank you so much, especially Thanos and the team of GWC Global for inviting me to join the meeting about promoting the waste energy and its benefits. So I have discussed this with our top waste energy expert in Switzerland. We decide not to talk about technology today, but focus on how to promote the industry to develop sustainable and resilient projects. Helen, please go back just first slide. Thank you. Before I start presentation, please allow me to introduce Swiss Engineers AG briefly. So, yes, please, thank you. Together with a group of top experts, Switzerland established coordinate engineers and technology experts in partnerships with corporate innovations, public institutions, and project investors to accelerate a new sustainable world, all aligned with the United Nations development goals. Our independent and neutral consulting services include professional training, technology consulting, and sustainable project financing facilitation. So next, please. Next slide. Next. Yeah. Next. Yes. Next. Yes, thank you. So back to our topic today on promoting waste to energy and its benefits. The waste to energy, especially the municipal waste to energy, is a public service provided through PPPs, project facilities. There are 4 crucial benefits. Firstly, it can better protect the public health by avoiding uncontrolled, means illegal disposal. Secondly, it can optimize the land use and reduce the quantity of the waste. Thirdly, it can save resources for protecting the Earth, our planet, through recycling. Last but not least, it can become an independent district energy, a green energy supplier to achieve carbon neutral goals. Next. However, some challenges need to be overcome. For example, there are criticisms about the waste energy is turning unsorted and unusable trash into valuable fuel commodity, is not complying with the exactly policy, and also criticisms on waste energy emanating climate change and emitting toxic emissions and rising air pollutions. And also, some say waste to energy rise public health concerns, and the citizens' communities are against them to set up a plant in the neighborhood. These are the major challenges we are facing now in this waste energy industry. Next. To overcome this problem, the waste to energy industry shall develop projects that fit to purpose, providing the best public services to the people, and putting people at the core for advancing the circular economy and sustainability. The project must comply with 5 criteria to be people first, competing with sustainability and resilience. These 5 criteria is access and equity, economy, effectiveness, and you can see from the PowerPoint already mentioned on the slides. So these 5 criteria and the people first PPP are the newest generation of a PPP model developed by the UNECE, the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, to support the UN SDGs and the 2030 agenda. So I'm confident that through these UN guidelines and standards implementation, it can help the waste to energy industry overcome the challenges. Next. So, okay, this is the first version. Okay, fine. So here I would like to share with you about the overview of the Swiss waste energy industry. You can see Switzerland represents a sustainable and resilient people-first model for the world waste energy. Through its 150 years experience in waste management and treatment, and more than 50 years in waste-to-energy project development and management, the local government and the regions and the communities have defined a standard affordable model to collaborate with the private sector to establish a special purpose vehicle. It's called SPV. Companies to ensure optimal waste management strategy plan and use the polluters pay principle, cutting-edge technology, innovations, industry corporations. The circular economy approaches have reached exemplary record. In figures, actually, Switzerland has eliminated land use to dispose of waste material. About 50 to 60% of municipal waste is recycled and compost, and the residual fractions is processed in waste-to-energy plants that operate in the country. These actions save billions of liters of heating oil per year and contribute to about 3.5% of the total energy demand. The bottom ash residues of the incineration processes are beneficially used in the construction after metal separation. The fly ash residues are safely disposed of sustainably. The projects in Switzerland use the Swiss challenge system to select the best possible tenders. The whole process is open to transparent to the public. The decision is received by the representatives of the communities who strictly follow the common decision through a voting system. The waste-to-energy plant works as a cooperative, competitive, collaborative, and independent public services, closely monitored by the official authorities. The Swiss government has built trust with citizens as they have continuous interact through public meetings, open discussions, and etc. The government encourages local citizens to elect professional representatives to participate in the project development on the management board and deliver high-quality public services. These are the effective impact solutions to avoid the Lingbi problem and other unprecedented risks, making Swiss waste-to-energy a world-recognized, sustainable, and resilient people-first PPP to replicate. Next. Next page, please. Yeah. So here is the example as a reference from Switzerland promoting waste-to-energy by implementing the UN guidelines to achieve the circularity, UN SDGs, and the climate goals. In WtERT, a city near Zurich, we assist the project owner use the UNEC evaluation tool to measure the impact. The project's operation team is trying to be the best score for the people first. Next, please. This is another example. A standard case from Switzerland, a community called Trimis, is a typical example out of 30 plants in Switzerland. The annual treatment capacity is about 100,000 tons. The total electricity production amount to 64,000 gigawatts in 2018. So the importance of these projects is the building energy supply saved 9 million liters of heating oil in the same year. So you can see from these slides, this waste-to-energy plant is already become a few years now as an independent green energy supplier. Next, please. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes. To summarize, a key success of Swiss projects is stakeholder engagement, which included the public representatives must agree on financial budget through a voting system, ensure the investment availability, affordability, and the economic sustainability. The operation team works closely with the public and private sectors to create additional jobs and boost innovation. The project's equipment and the management are many localized, and it creates indirect jobs and supports the economy and builds trust among the stakeholders. So these are my brief introduction I would like to share with you. And if you have any questions about presentation, please feel free to ask. We'll discuss later. Thank you very much.
Thank you for giving a chance to introduce our experience in Korea. I'm just briefly introduce the how much the benefit we got from waste to energy plant so far from maybe last 30 years, and also recent activities because of some of the regulation on this WtERT policy last 5-7 years. So how we can try to overcome such regress on this waste energy in Korea. Okay, this is a little bit of slide showing the history. As you've seen here, this slide shows from 1982 till, I have a slide until 2000, but it is only 2014. But anyway, our landfill was around over 90% in 1982, which was very like illegal dumping, not even sanitary landfill. But now at around this time, we got only around 16-17% of landfill, and recycling is up to 50-60%, and incineration and also SRF will cover more than 20% this time. So this showing, but after this year is almost stagnant. It's not changing much. So this is the status of waste management options for especially the municipal solid waste. But very recently, the actually last government, as you may know, our new president just in the position last week. So, but the previous government, they had a little bit of the backward policy on, especially on waste management and also waste to energy field. So it was not recognized. I mean, waste to energy is not recognized as one of the big role for circular economy and also the carbon neutral as well. So this was there's some history and the situation at this moment. Also, the government put this kind of policies. We're gonna get the zero landfill until 2030 years. So utilizing, maximizing the recycling rate, but they are not that much, recognizing the role of waste energy to achieve such a zero landfill. Okay, so this is I just adopted from the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, the circular economy, so-called butterfly diagram. Yeah, we try to do as many as the options to recycle, like material recycling or biological recycling, chemical recycling. But for achieve the circular economy, there are one of the significant part which are so-called they call leakage to be minimized. It is to be leakage, and those leakage must be treated somehow, energy recovery options. Then the final step will be landfill. So this step is also very important for achieving a circular economy. So as I introduced already, there are a lot of regressions in our policy on waste management, especially waste to energy. So we experienced, so-called waste crisis. A lot of waste was just piling on something like mountains, and it's very hard to export. So big problems happened last 4-5 years. So I think one of the big the reason why we experience so-called waste crisis could be, the governments do not recognize energy recovery is not one of the options for circular economy. So I and my colleagues established so-called waste to energy forums. So we would like to shout to the governments to make improving our policies in the right directions, and also we'd like to give some some information to public, because one of the reasons why government to put pushback was because of the public the objections. And so we tried to collect most of the data. Already we got, while we did some experience in long years ago while we installed many incinerators. So we worked on collect all the data and to try to improve public concerns, and also we would like to suggest the governments to get improvements, so-called amending their policies. Okay, myself was a chair on all these groups. Around 20 people work together. Recently, Professor Kwon was joining this group. And also we have an advisory committee. Most of the waste energy field, the expert, also NGO peoples and private companies were involved in this activity, so-called WtE, Policy and Technology Forum. Also, three society, Korean Society of Waste Management and Korea Association of Waste Energy Technology and Korea Society of Thermal Engineering and Thermal Environmental Engineering, they work together to endorse this forum. So these three the societies were helping us. And last 2 years, actually, in 2020, 2021, we hosted around 15, 16 forums, seminars, workshops. And finally, at the final moment, we had a symposium with the National Assembly, because one of the results we got, we would like to propose a new law or amending the existing law. Also, we had so many times a meeting with the ministries, and also, of course, the public relation, the promoting public relations. Also, the government at the same time, they are, they had a kind of goal to zero waste. So as you've seen in the previous slides, we got still 14% of the waste is landfilling. So if we achieved around zero landfill, like it's several percent of the waste to be landfilled, we still have to utilize waste energy plants around this amount. So because of our activities, and also proposing to the governments for their support politically and regularly. So very recently, last 1 year or so, there are a lot changing. So now they are planning a new waste energy plant, and also also one of the big issues recently, the circular economy and also carbon neutral goal. Those are the big issues. So hopefully the waste energy field and activities will be much more promoted in coming years. Yeah, I think sorry. Yeah, I already talked about this, but there are still a lot of the hurdles to overcome, such as energy conversion efficiency, the higher efficiencies, and also we have to apply some of the CCUS technologies and even incinerators, and also because last 30 years ago we had many incinerators were built, so their age is all aged, old plant must be replaced soon. So that's why I'm expecting another big jump on WtERT promotions in your future. It's already started. So this is my the conclusion. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Professor Shi, for sharing the experience and insights in in Korea. So now I will invite Professor Takoka to share some observation in Japan about the advantage of WTE technologies.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm very honored to have this opportunity. So I would like to share the Japanese experience. So my name is Masaki Takaoka from Kyoto University. So already, Dr. Yu and Professor Seo talk about the advantage of the waste to energy facility. So maybe many things overlap, but I would like to say that various values in the of the WTE plant. So WTE facility can provide various values in the local area. So that is maybe almost related to the PPP, so private partnership. So as you know, WTE provides the hygienic treatment and also volume reduction. So we can recover some resources such as some treatment residues and construction materials. So also main topics is energy recovery from that waste. And also we can generate that electricity and heat and etc. Okay. And this is a little bit special, I think. So recently, waste energy facility is regarded as a disaster prevention base in Japan. So we have many disasters, so typhoon, the flood, earthquake, and etc. So that natural disaster generate the disaster waste, huge amount of the disaster waste. So of course, we can recycle many things, but also we need that volume reduction of disaster waste. So waste to energy facility also contribute to that thing. And also that waste to energy facility can accept other type of waste, sludge, other biomass, and etc. Also, we can save some fossil fuel such as crude oil and etc. using that plastic waste. Yeah. And also that municipal facility also contribute to the local economy, such as the job creation, use of the local business, and etc. And also in Japan, whole year's elementary school student visit that waste to energy facility, and learn about global environment and local environment and etc. So waste to energy facility also contribute to environmental education. So today, I briefly talk about that blue color topics: the volume reduction, energy recovery, and disaster prevention base. Okay. So in old days, 1960s, during the high economic growth, the amount of the waste so much. So we need that volume reduction. So as you can see this, just 5 years passed, waste amount doubles. So we need that significant volume reduction. So we estimate that volume reduction effect by the waste to energy facilities, incineration facilities. So during 25 years from 1965 to 1989, total waste generated 868 million tons. So incineration ratio changed 46% to that 74%. So we can reduce that sort of waste by the initiation technology. So reduce amount 453 million tons. So that volume is almost equivalent to that 2 to 3 times of the present capacity of landfill. So we can save that landfill space. That is a very important because Japan is a very, very narrow land. Okay? And so when all of the municipal solid waste were directly landfilled, so municipal solid waste contained the biomass degraded portion. So in Japan, so we use that semi-aerobic type landfill site. So that emission factor is a methane emission factor is a 70 kilogram methane per ton dry gas. So that's generated 943,000 tons as a methane, converted to that CO2, that 90.8 million tons. So that is exceeded that 15.4 million tons from municipal solid waste incinerator. So we can, so also waste to energy facility has a benefit in the GHG reduction, I think. Also, we can recover that energy from that waste. This is one example. So, Hatsukaichi City has a 150 ton per day plant, not so big. But so electric generation efficiency is at 21.6%, and also supply the heat to the neighbor factory. So neighbor factory so can evaporate that natural gas. So we import liquid natural gas from foreign countries. So we have to evaporate. We have to change to the gas. So we need that heat. So total energy efficiency is almost 70%. And also, so totally we can reduce almost 10,000 tons CO2 per year. That is equivalent to that annual emission from 1,800 households. That is I think that is very big, I think. And also that municipality get that annual revenue here. So that is also that is I'm sorry, so almost totally so 82 million Japanese yen. Okay. And another topic is a disaster prevention base. So this is Imabari Cooling Center. So has of course that the initiation facility also has some spaces. Okay? So that is normally we can use that large training room for that citizen activities such as a volleyball and etc. But so if disaster happened, so we can use that. So that room can be used for that shelter. Okay? And also this facility equipped that so normal electricity generator and also emergency generator. So at the emergency time, so we can supply that electricity to that so neighbor area. And also at normal time, also we can use that so emergency generator to cut the peak of the electricity purchase. So we can save that some money for that electric company. And also NPO manage that so normal time that event, but so at emergency time, so also NPO manage that so shelter operation. And also electric vehicle is also used in this facility. normal time, so we can also use that vehicles. So at emergency time, so we can provide some power to the cities.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Helena. Thank you, Professor Masaki, Young, and Jenny, regarding all your very interesting insight and sharing the experience about several countries like Japan and Korea and also Switzerland. I want to, emphasize one very important point that 20 years in-depth studies at Columbia, that have shown that waste to energy is not only as a good idea, but is the only practical idea to avoiding wasting land, metal, and energy resources by landfilling, post-recycling urban waste. But however, still today there is a lot of many misconceptions about waste to energy, and I'm just asking, how the academia, the professionals, and also the industry could take the lead by bridging the gap between the science and technology with the key decision makers. So basically, to avoid, as we heard from the experience from Korea, that there is a lot of politicians that are influenced by public opposition about waste to energy, since there is a lot of misconception. So what do you think, how, in your point of view, from your position, could help to avoid that?
Actually, I prepare one presentation about our waste to energy workshop. Maybe I can show my presentation or
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. I want to show you later about my waste to energy workshop.
Yeah. If you can go just for quick minutes, and then we can exchange all together.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I just have this short-term presentation and can discussing with the professors. So can you see this? See my screen?
Very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
Okay. How to try? Okay. So, professors, it's my honor to make this presentation. I just want to show you our experiments for the waste to energy workshop. Maybe first. The background is the most Minister of Science and Technology of China have one international training programs. It contains a series of the training workshops about at the beginning about 60, and waste to energy training workshop is one of them. And we want to use the waste to energy workshop to provide the example for other developing countries as one platform. In 2016, this is the first time to apply this workshop to our government, and it was approved. At that time, we received about 85 applications from the 19 developing countries. So we finally enrolled the 20 from the 10 countries to attend this work. Since 2016 to the last years, we already successfully held the 5 international training workshops. A total 116 participants from the 22 countries. The participants should be the serious personnel engaged in the government, scientific research, industry, and also some investment. And nowadays, we almost cover the the Asia's, especially in the Asia, Southeast and South Asia, and also Africa and South American. This is some data from, and our university co-organized the Zhejiang University of Technology to hold this workshop, and the very good thing is we got the big financial support from the leading enterprise in China. There are SUS Environmental, Even Bright, Environmental, China Chain, Zhejiang Qingjiang. They are all the leaders of the waste to energy in China. Just because maybe the Even Bright Environmental is the largest incineration enterprise in China. SUS provides many great fairs in China. Is the largest. So. This is our workshop. The reason the reason to support us. In the past the workshop, we already have fabulous the teaching stable and stable the teaching teams. We already have the over 20 university professor and also serious engineering from the industry, and also invite some official to join us to give the case studies for this workshop. I'm sorry, these are the professor also from the China and from Japan. Maybe Tokuka, you know Yoshikawa, Professor Yoshikawa, okay, and also from Finland, from Europe, and also we invite some famous professor from Indonesia, Malaysia. Some they can provide some their technologies and their experiments to more easy to cooperation with developing countries participants. And this in response to appeal of the free service of the workshop. So low charge, any charge for the participant, and we provide free academy and little pocket money to the participant in China when they are in China. The period of the workshop is the 2 weeks. And last year, we just the workshop is online. So we guarantee or we will found 3 outstanding participants to visit China's plants in the future if they can to China in the futures. So this is a summary, and for the waste to energy workshop contains after the details preparation we have one official opening ceremony. We invite our local official from the local government and our university to join this opening ceremony, and we provide about 48 hours carving for the fundamental technology, management experiments, and regulation of China to the participants. The detail is the course is we covered the characters of the waste and also waste energy experiment in China. And also we teach the series and the method of waste incineration and the great incineration technology and the circulating fluidized bed incineration technology and its application in China. And also we provide the teachings preventing and emission control technologies. And very, very useful to the participant of these developing countries. We invite in engineering from the enterprise to provide experiments in response to lot in my backyard and operation experiments in incineration plants. And also we pay attention for the carbon emissions. We invite professors from to gather some ideas of carbon emission and carbon natures related to the waste to energies. Besides the core, we provide technical tools if they from 2016 to 2019. Last year, we provided the VR visiting provided by the SUS, Eventbrite, and China Tianying and Zhejiang Jinjiang. 4 companies all provide VR. We can visit in the through the screen or the guide the participant to see the whole process of the plans. So this is a new test or the how to say we want to give the more useful or more detailed concept about waste to energies, even though they cannot to the plants on site. Among the workshop, we also arranged the one symposium each year to invite the participants to give their presentation about their country's waste management experiments or waste management situations. So we have they're discussing about and how to adopt the waste to energy in their countries, and they can to show their consideration about that. And our workshop, waste to energies among the 60s, the workshops in the international training programs of China's. We recognized by the most is one of the 6 best workshop among them. So after the workshop each year, we call this we can form the an international family. We have many beautiful memory, and also we keep the friendship last after the workshop. Okay, and after the workshop, we got already since 2016 already got some achievement after the workshop. International cooperation project, international consulting plan platform, and also we have more frequently academic visiting exchanges, and also we can provide some lectures and training course to the developing country. For international cooperation project, we cooperate in Indonesia, ITP or the Prestigious Majors University. We got the key project of China strategy, international scientific and technology innovation cooperation. The budget is about 4 million RMB, and also international cooperation project by with the Pakistan or others. And we cooperation Indonesia and other countries. We already got to the one international laboratory in Zhejiang province. This got in 2017, just after the 1 year, 2016. And also after the workshop, we cooperation many professors from Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, and Pakistan. We cooperation with the developing countries. The professors already published a number of the papers, over 50 papers in international journals. For example, with the Professor Harry from the ITP, and Agang from Sunways from Malaysia, and also Bayu from Indonesia also. And also the second achievement, the measures, the achievement is that we in 2017, we cooperation with 14 professors, including Professor Tokokas. You are here. Except in 2016, we formed an International Consulting Committee of Waste to Energy. We provide the consulting to the developing country for their waste to energy in the future. And already, ICCWT, we have official websites, and visiting the times more than already the 30,000 times nowadays. And we will show out the experiments, and we show that is the news about waste to energy in China and also in Europe, in Japan or others. We want to establish this platform to provide consulting and show our experiment in the future to the developing countries. And besides this committee, we established the WtERT and WtERT. Among the participants, just I mentioned is already we have over 100 participants nowadays. So we have frequently contact. We can show out experiments, and also we can understand their situation in these developing countries. And also the third is after the workshop, we have merger visiting and exchanges for Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand also. We already have more frequent exchanges besides the project cooperation and also students trainings. I want to say is one achievement also in our university. Our university already opened the international master student program since 2017 last year, 2021 last year, and our workshop provides much support to apply this application to the Minister of Education in China. This is the program is approved by the Minister of Education in China. So this we really choose the degrees, the training programs for the developing countries. And also we have several the lectures and training to the Indonesia and to Thailand, to the others, maybe for Malaysia or others, provide the materials and lectures. For example, for Dr. Yemi. Dr. Yemi gave about one semester lectures about waste energy to the others in Indonesia. So this is our achievement after the workshop. In my opinion, I worked on do our work for the share our experiments and provide a platform to the waste energy in the future for the developing country. And nowadays we are preparing for our this year's international training workshop. And I hope we can get more application for this workshop. And unfortunately, this just because the COVID-19 pandemic, this year so we still use the online, but we do our best to provide the success for the training course to the participants this year. We we just issued our call for participants this month. We just issued our call for participants, and also hope to got the more support from the professors and also WtERT. And okay. And also, we want to build a more open and sharing our information platform based on ICC-WTE International Consulting Committee of Waste-to-Energies. And we can we will continue to show our experiments and do our voluntary work for the waste-to-energies in the future. So this is my presentations. I want to show our work to all of you, professors. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Lee. Basically, you just respond to my question earlier. I think one of the solutions is to educate, sharing, training, and to emerging countries to share the waste to energy experience in China, and also included Professor Masaki, in the international workshop. And I'm sure one of the experience that we work all together regarding the country of Morocco, since we train, we bring participants to participate in this training workshop that leads to the country to investigate the waste to energy technology for the city of Casablanca. And this is kind of some sort of project in this academia. This is how the result of academia that help countries to understand the technology, how it could be implemented through training, pre-feasibility study to support the key decision makers, phase out the landfilling to waste to energy and energy profit from the waste. So we have some questions that I want to share with you to all the panelists we get from the chat. So one question here is: could you please share your knowledge about any different or similar challenge or limitation in promoting waste to energy technologies in the East Asian countries such as China, Korea, and Japan, like they face? What's the similar challenge that face developing waste to energy in Japan, Korea, and in China? Is there any similarity or limitation in promoting waste to energy?
Yeah. May I?
Yes.
Say something? Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sure.
So in Japan, so that initiation technologies are very popular, I think, but still some citizens also oppose that construction of the initiation facility because already I think that dioxin emission is not so much, but still worry about that emission. Yeah, I think that the similar challenges or something. I think, yeah. Still that toxic emission that is of great concern, I think. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Professor Masaki. So, is there anybody who wants to add something? I believe there is, let's say, in the emission, there is a lot of misconception about waste energy, about emission. Waste energy technology, their emission is very low. They're very strict controlled. I could say this is very low comparing to other industries. So, so basically, I think this is one of the benefits of the waste energy is to reduce, mitigate climate change by slashing, the methane emission from the landfill, and also basically, controlling the emission from the chimney and of the CO2. But I believe that the technology is improving. The science also that in the future the waste energy will become net zero emission. With the carbon capture. This is how we need to invest more in R&D, more in the research academia to go beyond the current standards. Basically, also there is if there's anybody wants to just let me know. There is another question here. Will governments continue to provide policy support and funding to develop waste to energy plants in China in the following years? Besides building large-scale waste to energy plants, do Chinese companies have other advantage in improving waste to energy technologies?
Okay, maybe I can say something.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I try to say yes. I think, nowadays in China, we already have over 700 waste energy plants. According to the plans, the government plans, maybe in 2025, the number will be to the 1,000 waste to energy plants. So that means we still waste to energy still increased, and the government already provide the subsidy to support the waste to energy nowadays, and not and this is should be still continue the policy, but they have a little adjustment. For example, that in the past years, the subsidies are low limited. There is you generate electricity, you can get the money from the government. But we have now have some the little changes. For example, for the one waste to energy plant, they have the limited operation year, about 25 years. That means for one plant, you got the benefit from the waste energies from the government. The total operation time is the total operation periods is about 25 years. It depends. It depends the areas or depends the developing situation in China. And also the maybe among the China, we have the big difference, the province and province. Nowadays, in the south and the east of China, they almost the waste energy is almost finished. But in others, the areas, for example, the laws or the waste of China still increase and still with the much waste still landfill. So still need waste to energy or installations in their areas. So in my opinion, in the near futures, the government still support the waste to energy in China. Okay, this is my answer.
Yes, excellent. So definitely, I believe that it should be like a policy that against landfilling, which is the only alternative to avoid wasting lands. And landfilling is the waste to energy technologies, which is obviously the most developed technology to succeed. Zero waste to landfill. Okay, not zero waste utopia. That waste it will disappear by itself or by itself. So basically, also I was asking, Professor Lee, also the vision abroad, what's eventually the vision for, the government of China, also the Chinese companies to go beyond borders, especially in Africa, Southeast Asia, or maybe even Latin America, to share the waste to energy technologies to this country, knowing that China has succeeded to reduce the cost of these technologies. They're very quite expensive. What do you think, if you're having some insight?
Yes, this is it's a how to say, is very very important for the Chinese enterprise. For example, for Unbright or SUS or China Chains. I mentioned earlier is waste energy already how to say much waste to energy market in China is nearly in many areas nearly finished in China. So they turn to the view to the developing countries. They want to open their international market for this enterprise. So these directions is one. And second is they have some experiments, and also they can manufacture, they can provide the products, and also they have the technical teams. So that means it is the very possibility or easy to do to construct the waste energy plant and operation and to make the money in the developing country is the second. The third is the China government, maybe you know, the 1 Belt 1 Road.
Yes.
Yes. The China's the policy, the support or encourage our enterprise go abroad to do some work to provide the contribution there. So this is much important. And again, you mentioned the cost. Yeah. Compared to the Europe and Japan, the China's they have much better human resource, and also they can control the manufacture cost, and the materials provides the reasonable. So and again, in my opinion, is the business models, the China have some better business models according to our requirements. Yeah. After over past decades, we have many experiments in the product, in human rights, and also in financial business models. So yes, we can provide some reasonable cost if you want to construct the waste to energy plant in developing countries. These China's the big enterprise can do more reasonable. They can provide a more reasonable cost.
Sure.
In the future.
And I want to jump in another one of the important framework, which is the PPP, People First Public-Private Partnership, as an instrument to facilitate the flow of investments, and also basically how this, either in China, Southeast Asia, and in other emerging countries could implement this law to attract finance, the BOT, like build, operate, own and transfer, basically. So I just want to ask Jenny if she could provide some insight about this and your experience since you work with Professor Portalas regarding drafting the report of the People First PPP with the UN. You're on mute. You're on mute. Yep.
Thank you very much. Yes, I heard. I'm very pleased to share with you the development of UNEC on the guidelines promoting People First PPP waste to energy projects for non-recyclable waste for circular economy.
Yes,
I think this is the first time, together with this evaluation methodology for the PPPs, is the first time in the UN organization developed the standards to measure the impact and also help the government work with the private sectors and also mobilize the finances to support the actions and the projects for achieving UN SDGs. So the 2030 Agenda UN SDGs are agreed by the member states, including all of nations here we are discussing today. And I think if waste to energy, if the industry experts, everybody here could look at these documents, because at the moment it's not finalized, and we are receiving the last call for providing comments. Probably will be finalized this year. As UNEC is although is only a regional commission, but the standards was widely promoted and used more than 100 countries government to use it. So I think I strongly recommend the professors and companies who want to promote the business technologies to the country or to abroad, including the Belt and Road, to look at the UN documents and try to implement the documents, or if you have any comments and before the decision, I think the Secretariat will be very happy to receive these. Besides this, Switzerland is a leading country in sustainable finance. So I can imagine the methodology of UNEC developed for the measuring the impact of PPP projects will be as a very good example for the finances, especially for the sustainable finances, to closing the gap of ESG, especially the impact of governance. So that means the evaluation methodology from UNC produced is really recommendation to the government, to the projects, go through this methodology tool, as I represented in my presentation, which is WtERT, a new waste energy project. Before they start, they already used this evaluation methodology tool to measure the project impact to SDGs. So the good result can be more interested and attracted to the financiers to have a better finance support. That's the information I would like to share.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for your insight. And I want to, there is also, as you know, Switzerland is leading, and there is a company, Hitachi Sozen, which is a Swiss and Japanese, the company that are expanding in the Middle East by building one of the largest waste plants in Dubai. And I think that, going back into the Japanese experience, it's everybody knows that Japan is a leading in terms of the waste energy technologies as well. And how do you think, Professor Masaki, that it could influence for example, Korea, to moving forward to this technology, and also the rapid development of such technology in China. So to support, developing, redeveloping, and reinvesting this technology in Korea, and also as well, always academia could share, disseminate information about the waste energy technology.
Yeah, so nowadays, China is a very, very strong, I think. Yeah, cost competing. Yeah, and also the technology.
Japan's strong also.
Yeah, technology is also.
It's good. It's good competition. It's good, for the benefit of the environment.
Yeah, yeah, but also we are now developing something, and also we have to deal with the various waste, and also achieve that decarbonizing society. So we are developing the new technology, and also with Japanese companies such as Hitachi Zosen, Innova, or other JFE engineering, and etc. And also, so we can also use that JCM. From the international framework. So JFE company also constructed one waste energy plant in Vietnam using that JCM. Yeah, that is also one of the promising scheme, I think.
Very good. Yeah. Excellent. Professor Young, I know there is a lot of...
let me share my opinion. Yeah,
yes.
As Professor Nagaoka was telling, we are very much, also I'm very much surprising, Chinese, the moving up, big expansion. And, but, also at the same time, I'm very much surprising on your governmental policy and support, especially as you introduced the training workshops. I think some funding comes from the governments, I guess, not only from the university or private companies. So it was very surprising. It's very much impossible in case of Korea nowadays. As I introduced in my presentation, in the last 4 or 5 years, even big, regressions, backward from the governmental side. No policies, because one reason was this, they are all the time thinking of the publics. They're worrying about it, okay? So
yes.
Some of the public against, the governments just follow them. I mean, that means they don't want to do anything. That's it. So that's why, very much surprising, the Chinese cases. And but in my opinion, they go back to the question which one of the audience raised. What will be the limitation and challenges to promote, WTE? A lot of, scientists, even, industries, they worked hard up to now, maybe last 30, 40 years, more than 40 years in case of Japan. They developed, very much conventional, the safe, the reliable technologies, especially, conventional incinerators. Of course, we need new technologies, so we are still working hard for developing new technologies, such as gasification and pyrolysis kind of things. But, also emission, air pollution control could be the same. They're not advanced technology-wise, but still people are worrying about, same the issues,
Yes.
But in there, in my experience, the last 5-10 years, the governmental side, they have policies like landfill, zero landfill. So we nowadays government to put big signs, okay, no more landfill without any waste, energy recovery in case of Korea. But, they don't want to show up. I mean, even they don't want, it kept coming, no, nothing to say. So that's why, the local or industries, they want to build a new plants, or they want to replace old plants, but the government is just watching. So what I want to say is, policy and the governmental support is one of the very big, important things in our cases. So that's why, China has a big success. But that's why I work a little bit, on the promoting such situation with our colleagues. So keep shouting to the governments, and finally, our new government is recently, the government side is not moving nowadays. So I hope, I'm expecting a little better future in the waste to energy field. So in Korea. Okay, yes. That's my comment. Thank you.
Yeah.
You want to add something?
Yeah, actually, compared to the Japan or Korea, so we still have weak the considerations for the eco.
Environmentalist.
Just mention the Professor Tokokar mentioned the design concept of friendship with the citizen, or the emerging shelters with the low mode concept. Maybe tomorrow morning I want to share my experiments with in the Weber tools from the technology and the policy, and also for the research. I want to shorten some. In China, we learn much. We learn much from the developed country technology, from the Japan, from Switzerland, from Korea. Early, maybe the 10 years early, we import almost international installation technology. You can find almost the world the installation technology you can find in China. So nowadays we already adopt and developed our own technology. For example, even Bright, SUS, or others that are China 10 or others. So we still have pay attention. In my opinion, so we still pay attention for the efficiency. We need to improve our efficiency, installation efficiency, and also maybe just the production control is still the issues in China also, from the government and also from the public. Maybe I just gave one examples. In 2017. The China government spent much money to measure all their plants reduction emissions by the government laboratory. At that time we only have about 10 laboratory reduction analysis laboratory. So that means that our government asked 10 laboratories to measure almost over 200 installation plants 1 year. So reduction is still serious. And also nowadays we already pay attention for the carbon emission from the waste energy, the carbon naturals or carbon emission from the biomass. Materials also for the fishes materials of the waste we pay attention for. So the good news is that our government still provides the funding, research funding each year, about 1 billion. The government still each year provide 1 billion RMB to support our research on the waste recycling, eco recycling, and also for the waste to energy also. So this is a good news. Okay, yeah, this is my want to say.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I think following all this exchange, I could summarize that very briefly. That academia should take the lead in terms of disseminate science-based fact about the benefits of waste to energy technologies, and to be very open, and also believe, be open and also be offensive and not defensive, in terms of developing, such technology. And since, there is often, developing waste energy is often political, more ideological debates that unfortunately, influence key decision makers, and also it shut down, unfortunately, a lot of development of such technology.